Hello, welcome to Giggles and Gratitude. I'm Dena.
And I'm Tia.
This is Sunday, April 21st, 2024, not 1924.
Exactly right.
Last week I said 1924, and if you've listened to other episodes, you may have heard that I put Cheerios in the freezer. I couldn't find my box of cereal. It was in the freezer. And then lately, Tia, this past week, I was working out in the yard a little bit. I'm not really a yard putterer. Just it's not my nature to be out puttering in the yard. Although I enjoy a beautiful yard, I just don't enjoy doing it. But things needed painting, like some of the things in the yard. My dad loved to put little statues in the yard and stuff. And there's an object in the yard, a very common object that needed painting. And I kept calling it the lampshade. The lampshade needs to be painted. Every time I thought of it, I said lampshade. Now, do you have any idea what I really meant?
Not a clue.
Well, it's not even close to
Okay.
lampshade. Bird bath. I have to make myself say bird. Why do I call it a lampshade?
I have not a clue. It would be
worried.
an upside down.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And it would crush a light bulb.
And birds couldn't
But
swim in
you
it.
know what? Exactly. No water held if it's upside down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think bird bath. So
Instead
I'm a
of
little concerned.
lampshade.
Instead of lampshade.
Wow.
So everyone may be witnessing my brain's demise. I don't know what's going on, but it is a bird bath. Anyway, I painted the bird bath. It was just a natural concrete color, and it was getting dirty and stained. And I was trying to think what color would go best. So I went and had a dark gray mixed, almost a black. So our house is red brick, white shutters, black porch furniture, black railing. And I thought, well, I'll just do a kind of in between the two. And I brought it home. I painted it. It was late, pretty late. I waited till the sun was down a little bit. And when I got up the next morning, it's purple. It looks purple. I don't know what to do. I know what I'm going to do to that lampshade.
Thank goodness my granddaddy's in heaven, because you get in trouble too, because I painted his garage purple.
That's
remember?
right, you did. I forgot.
See?
What is it with us? So I think I'm going to go in and maybe take some white and maybe do a little dry brush over the top, to tone it down. Because it's got little designs and patterns that maybe if I just brushed white over would give it dimension and depth. But I don't know. It's right there in the middle of the yard, and all the neighbors walk by. And have you ever had somebody in a neighborhood you lived in paint their house a crazy color or shutters, and you think, oh no, is that really what they're going to do?
Well, we've always lived in a neighborhood that had like stipulations of what you could and you couldn't do. And we actually did have a statue that we were asked to take down because it was offensive to one of our neighbor's children, because it was a lady that it was a statue of a really tall lady, and she had her hand over her breast.
Testicular area.
But she said, my son gets excited when and so we had to take it down. We threw the biggest fit because it was a concrete statue, and I'm thinking, you know what, woman? It's not us with the statue that has a problem. It's you with your kid. What the world is wrong with him getting excited over a concrete statue that is a Greek goddess?
Oh no, I can't believe that.
That was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh man, that's
we
funny.
are not friends anymore, by the way. Just for
So
fun.
you took it down.
Oh, well, see, some of our neighbors that were very best friends of ours, we had a party taking it down, and we literally took hammers in the front yard and crushed it into, because this statue was delivered, it was extremely heavy. So we smashed it so everybody could see it. I hope somebody was videoing it, because it was just so ridiculous. Stupid.
Could you not have put a robe on it or painted it or flowers?
Are you being serious?
Yeah,
A robe or a flower? There was nothing. Her breasts weren't showing. Nothing was showing. She had a gown.
Oh, okay.
that was draped. Like the Greek statues.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the men ones
Yeah.
or the ones that. But it's extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was in the center of our yard, and we had like this flower bed. It was beautiful.
It sounds beautiful.
Okay, well, then she went to the homeowners association and said, "This is making my little boy like crazy, so they need to take it down." And I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten that mad over something so stupid. I mean, not that I was mad over something stupid. That was stupid for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you were
goodness.
making your point by publicly destroying it so she
Oh,
could
yeah.
see how ridiculous.
Oh, no. Our neighbors who live in Nevada now helped us, and we took hammers and just demolished it in the front yard.
I thought that's kind of fun, but yet sad. It's sad.
Well, I guess it's like going in one of those rooms now that they have, like, to get out your frustrations or whatever. You, like, break things or whatever. We were having one of those in the middle, and there were so many people that drove by, and apparently everybody was calling because there was like a parade in front of our house. And every time that somebody would go by, we'd start laughing and hitting harder. Because, I mean, I don't think there was any other neighbor in that entire neighborhood that thought that the statue needed to be taken down. It was just that one neighbor with her child that apparently had a problem with concrete statues.
I've never heard of that one.
Not me either.
You better never go to a museum or
Oh.
France or Italy or
No.
anywhere.
Never go to Europe, ever. Because guess what? You would see him in the wild on the beach.
That is so strange to me.
This is Giggles and Gratitude. I'm sorry I went there.
Well, that was a giggle.
No, yeah, that's a giggle, all right.
That wasn't necessarily. Well, you turned the other cheek because you could have. It was the statue's cheek, I guess, that you turned because you could have said, no, let's go to court. Let's go to Judge Judy. I'm not moving a statue.
Go to Judge Judy. Oh, well, Judge Judy terrifies me. She does. She terrifies me. But the point of it is we spent. The statue wasn't cheap.
Right. Well, that size, yeah.
And yeah, because it was as tall as I am.
That's crazy.
And so it was just crazy. And I said, well, buddy, do you want to put it in our backyard? Because our backyard was fenced. And he said, it doesn't go in our backyard. So we demolished it instead of keep it and put it in our backyard.
Yeah. Would you just clean it up and replace it with the lampshade?
No, we didn't. We never had a bird bath lampshade in the front. Matter of fact, I think what we did is I think we put a shrub in place of it and then had flowers. But we had a bunco thing. And yeah, I ceased the bunco because I was like,
that was the whole neighborhood.
I'm not going to play this little game.
That's a shame. Yeah, you can't pick your neighbors. But you handle that in a very fun and childish way.
You can pick your nose, but you cannot pick your neighbors
That's
or
right.
your friends.
That's right. Okay. I don't know how we got off on that, but I enjoyed that story very much.
I don't either. We always get off on something. Okay, may I just say something?
Sure.
Okay. And I know, because I'm going to look at you the whole time I'm telling you this, because I want to see your facial expression. Okay. I was the one that said, at one point in time, I said, Dena, are we going to do a yikes? And I was like, Y-I-K-E-S. I'm not real sure because I guess it was, oh, yikes, because it was something that I never knew about. Okay, and then recently I saw where you put yikes, Y-S-K, for you, I'm sorry, YKS. You know something? And I was doing yikes, like, yikes, it's scary. And you were doing, oh, that's a great name, like YKS.
Right. Did you
Like,
just not realize that?
Yes. Thank you.
I thought you were so clever.
No. No. Because I was doing yikes.
Yikes when
Like
I
that.
tell the
And you
topic.
were doing, you know something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not clever at all.
Well, you picked up on it. You picked up on it. It took a while. I mean, it took
a while. Do you know how while it's been? It's been almost since the beginning.
All right. Well, you're not as clever as I thought.
No, I'm not at all.
No, you are too. You are too.
Okay, you want to know something else?
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking to one of my friends, and I said, "Hold on, I can't hear you on speaker because I can hear much better when I've got my earbuds in." And so I knew where I'd left them. Looked. I mean, I went all over the house while she's on speakerphone, looking. And she goes, "You don't think Blessing got him?" And I said, "No." I said, "No way." I said, "Because I keep everything, remote controls, eyeglasses, everything out of his reach." Don't you know that I walked down the back porch? There's my iPod case with one of the iPods on the outside. By the grace of God, it wasn't chewed up. And I opened the case real quick thinking, he swallowed the second one. But it was there.
Oh, good.
So
they still work?
I kind of took a Q-tip and got all of his slobber off because he had chewed on one.
Oh, shoot.
But it didn't ruin it.
Yeah. Now, Blessing, in case you haven't figured out, is not Tia's child.
No.
It's her dog.
Yes.
Blessing. If you haven't listened before. And he is a thief, for sure, for anything that's loose. But he thinks it's just a toy, I guess. If it's laying there, it's
no, because it's in the tray on an ottoman. And so he has to be strategic in getting into it. So it's not like they're just laying there.
Yeah. Well, Tia and I got dogs at the same time from the same litter, and his brother Boogie I got, and they know when they're doing something wrong because they wait till you're not around, and then they carry it somewhere. Boogie has a little tent he goes into, and when he gets something he's not supposed to have, he goes into that tent, and I just go in there and take it away from him. He doesn't know that's his tail. That's how he tells me that he's grabbed something. So they are being sneaky.
Okay.
It's not just
Blessing
innocent.
doesn't tell me. He just takes it, and then I have to find it. He doesn't go into a set place. If that would happen, I'd be like, hallelujah.
I think it's just because he's a little smarter than Boogie. Boogie is, I've said before, he's cute as he can be. He's just not real bright.
Would you not say that? He is I love that child.
I love him too, but he's not
And I just
bright.
called him a child, but I love him.
I guess we need to broach the subject. This has nothing to do with devotions or Sunday or anything, but because this is kind of our free-for-all episode on the weekend, we followed the Golden Bachelor. We don't do reality TV, but the Golden Bachelor intrigued us because of the age range. It was unique. So we thought, let's see. Tia had never watched a Bachelor franchise before. I mean, she was aware of it, what goes on, because she watches Entertainment Tonight and things like that, and you see clips, but so we followed the Golden Bachelor, and if you haven't listened to that, I mean, stop right now, because we're about to spoil it. Go back and listen to I think we had like 8 episodes called Batch Chat, but Tia was not fond of the winner, Teresa, but they did marry. Did they ever go on that free honeymoon to Italy? Okay.
They did not.
So, probably know more than I do, but what I know is that they married, I guess that's been like 3 months ago. And they lived in different states. She lived in New Jersey, and where did he live? Somewhere in the Midwest?
Indiana.
In Indiana.
Yes.
And they said they were just going to figure that out later, which I thought, that's a big deal.
Huge deal.
Neither one of them wanted to leave their families. So that's not going to last forever. I mean, that can't last forever.
No, it really can't.
And she still is working, I think. But I was listening to a podcast today, and the girl said, I have a little inside information. And it was, I can't remember the relationship. It was like her friend's granddaughter goes to school with one of Teresa's grandsons and told her that Gary said she was uppity, didn't like his house wasn't good enough for her, and that she didn't want to live out in the Midwest where she's used to living in New Jersey and going into New York City and doing things, and she didn't want to change her lifestyle. Now, that was Gary's interpretation of her. He used the word uppity. Now, this is just a rumor. Can you see that? Does that sound like something he would...
Okay, remember, Teresa was not one of my favorites.
Right.
Never. But I did see her shoveling snow all by herself. So I don't think that once they got married that they were ever cohabitating, ever.
Maybe not.
And so, I mean, and so she does have to give the ring back. And I don't know. I know that there are people that can succeed. I mean, just because, who was it?
There were several couples that, it's not a big percentage when you think about all.
I know, but the one that has been married forever.
Well, the Trista and Ryan.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, it can happen. It can totally happen.
If you had to pick, if we just had to pretend like we know what's going on, who would you blame for this breakup?
Him.
You like him less than you like her now, right?
It's pretty much even. But I just think he was in it for the wrong reasons. I think he was in it for the fame. Look at me. And he wasn't truthful. That's one thing that made me about him.
Yeah, he said he didn't date.
Yeah.
Or gave that impression and wanted to get back out there. And actually, he had been dating a couple of people who weren't real happy with the breakup.
Right.
And how he handled it. Yeah, I think they got caught up. I think maybe Teresa really thought it was going to work. But she probably felt like she could quit her job and that maybe they would find I was thinking they were going to go to South Carolina or a neutral location.
Charleston.
Yeah. So maybe they just got to know each other and didn't like each other once they were alone and got to know each other. That show does not allow you to really get to know each other. So, but they probably both got good endorsement deals, got a lot of followers on Instagram. So they'll be okay. It's just kind of icky.
Yeah.
Know? And I wonder if it'll hurt that franchise,
That's what I'm wondering. Because isn't the Bachelorette, the Golden Bachelorette?
As far as I know, it still is. But I'm just wondering if people will be as excited since the first one didn't work. So that gold might be tarnished. But I did want to address it, even though
they could do the silver.
Yeah, there you go.
The silver,
which is appropriate
Bachelor.
If you think about our hair,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Tia. So you produced 2 of our podcast episodes, and you think you're a producer. And I think you are.
Whatever.
The Silver Bachelor.
Okay, can I tell you something I heard this week?
Absolutely.
It's just yumness. It's just food for thought.
Okay.
When it says that you need to pause before speaking, think twice, speak once. Okay. Lori on K-Love said that she was drinking out of a mug, and she said, it's funny how just the smallest things like a coffee mug or a t-shirt or whatever can pause for you to think about. And this is what it said: taste the words in your mouth before you spit them out. Ooh.
Yeah.
Swish them around in your mouth and see how good they taste before you spit them out.
Yeah. Probably best just to swallow them.
It's exactly right. Totally.
Yeah. What's the saying? Is this necessary? Is this true? Is this helpful? Oh, is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it true? Is it kind? Before you say it. But it'd be a real quiet world probably if everyone did that, but it would be nice. So that's
Very.
why I was hesitant about talking about The Bachelor, because it does bring out the worst in us. It really does.
Yes.
But good luck to both of them. Good luck to them. This has nothing to do with the devotion. Maybe we should get to devotion because we've just been talking silliness. But I was thinking the other day, how do you start a trend? How do trends start, whether it's fashion or a saying or a joke that gets around? And I thought, I slept it was really hot and we haven't quite decided to turn the air conditioner on, that transition. And I just slept in a little nightgown. It was about mid-thigh nightgown. Well, I always walk the dog since I first get up because I don't have a doggy door. So I just grabbed some jeans and put on so I could go outside real quick. And I walked by the mirror and I thought, I remember this look. It was like the early 2000s, I think, the sundress over the flare blue jeans. I don't know if you ever rocked that trend. But you're looking at me like a crazy. Do you remember seeing
I
it?
rocked the little sundress, but I didn't have anything on under.
You didn't have on jeans over it.
No.
So that was a thing, and I think I'd like to bring it back.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of cute sundresses, but I'm just not prepared to wear sundresses without. Pantyhose don't exist anymore.
You never got rid of anything that you took out of your closet, did you?
No, I just kind of rearranged it, folded it.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's how you start a trend, I think. I could take you and Cindy, let's say, and give you my sundress and give Cindy a sundress, and y'all wear jeans, and we get in the car together and we find some unsuspecting person out running errands. Let's say they're going into Hobby Lobby. Oh, I go in and walk in front of them and I say something like, oh, excuse me, or do you know where the bathroom is? So that they see me in my sundress and flared jeans. And they think, that's interesting. So then we see them go to Chick-fil-A for lunch. And you get out in your sundress and you go into the Chick-fil-A. We're basically stalking someone, but it's for a good cause. So then they see, you say something to them, like, what do you recommend at Chick-fil-A? Then maybe they're going to the bank the third time. And Cindy walks in and says, this is a stick-up or something. So that she gets attention.
No, Cindy going to jail. Why would we want Cindy to go to jail?
Well, I just can think of what you'd be going into. You're not your bank for. That person would certainly notice you in the sundress, in the jeans. Well, what is she going to do when she goes home and she's making dinner and her husband walks in? What's she going to say?
She's going to go, wow, I ran into the most three weirdest women ever.
I was in a bank robbery.
It's in a bank robbery with some chick in a sundress and blue jeans.
No, what she's going to say is, did you know that sundresses, to her daughter, to her teenage daughter, did you know that sundresses over blue jeans are back? And her daughter's going to think, oh, yeah, of course I knew that. Well, soon, just before we know it, there will be people walking around in sundresses and blue jeans. That's my theory.
Okay.
And I may cut this all out because it has nothing to do with anything. But I just thought about how do trends start. All right. Do you have a devotion for us today, Tia?
I do.
Okay. Bring it back. Bring it back.
It has nothing to do with sundresses or blue jeans. But
Good. That's good.
It's out of Jesus Calling.
Okay.
Okay. Listen to me continually. I have much to communicate to you. So many people and situations in need of prayer. I am training you to set your mind on me more and more, turning out distractions through the help of my Spirit. Walk with me in holy trust, responding to my initiatives rather than trying to make things fit your plans. I died to set you free, and that includes freedom from compulsive planning. When your mind spins with a multitude of thoughts, you cannot hear my voice. A mind preoccupied with planning pays homage to an idol of control. Turn from this idolatry back to me. Listen to me and live abundantly. That's me.
I was going to say, and why did this devotion speak to you today, Tia?
It did. Because it did. Totally did.
There's nothing wrong with planning and being prepared. I think you can go so opposite like me that can be a ungodlike thing too, to just have no plan, no future. It affects other people. So, I mean, I don't you feel like you plan too much?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
What are you gonna do about it?
I'm going to listen to that and try not to or plan so much. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
So that devotion really spoke to you.
Absolutely, it did. And the only reason I'm giggling is because, it was so much like me.
And tell me, you read that. Tell me, just retell it to me how what that said and what that meant to you, or.
Okay, can I be real honest?
Yes, please.
Okay. I read the wrong devotion that I was going to read. And so, but when I read it, I just stung.
Oh, you just read that cold just now?
Yes.
Ah, you're kidding me.
No, I promise. You can see what I wrote down.
Tia.
And
the date.
I read the wrong one.
And you just went with it.
Yes.
Well, that was meant to be.
Yes, it was.
That is wild.
I know. I was reading. I was like, this is not what this. But I was like, well, I'm not going to stop. And then the more I read, I was like convicted.
Wow. We just witnessed a little miracle.
Yes, that was a huge miracle right there.
That's crazy. So it's saying that you're idolizing your own control, or assuming you have your own control.
Yeah, your idolatry is like when you do not wait on God, or you don't let Him control your life. You try to control it, so you take all of the control out of His hands, which is an idolatry. It's anything that you place over God is an idolatry,
right,
period.
Right.
And so, and sometimes I do, a lot of times I do, I take control of everything because I think, if it's going to be done right, I'll do it. And that really did. Wow. That just I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit freaked out right now because I read the wrong devotion that I had
She
planned.
had a little bookmark, and there's a devotion on the left and a devotion on the right, and she read the one on the right when she's supposed to read the one. Well, I think you were supposed to read the one on the right.
Yes.
Do you want to share the one on the left? Do you want to say that till next week? Or?
No, I'm just so shocked over it. I don't know if I can go through another one right now.
All right, let's let Tia process this.
Whew.
You know what I think you do? I think, and I'm not a psychologist, I think because you have anxiety, you think, I've got to take control of the situation so that this doesn't happen. You know, and you have planned. When you plan, people have a tendency to just let it go. We'll let go and let Tia do it. And then you've got more and more and more and more on you. It's like, your brain never gets a chance to rest. But I think it's a way to deal with the unknown of what might happen, the anxiety of what might happen. Whereas I'm not as an anxious person, so I think, well, that's the worst that could happen. Nobody's going to die. So
what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. We'll be a little late. We'll get a little lost. So I think it's your way of coping with your anxiety. But I'm so glad you read that. I'm so glad you saw that. And I can tell that it's really affected you.
No, it really did. Because I'm just absolutely just stunned. Because, I can't believe that I picked up the wrong one.
That's true.
And you saw that I had it written.
Yeah, so. I wonder why you were kind of grinning and your eyes were real big and your mouth was kind of hanging open.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, what did I do?
Aren't you glad we're not like on YouTube right now?
Yeah,
because everybody would have seen me going, what am I reading?
Well,
and why is this speaking to me so much right now?
It really was.
And kicking me in the bottom. Whew, it did.
Well, that's great. We just had a moment here, I think.
Yes, we did.
I don't know what else you have, but I did want to mention that my mom had her 90th birthday this week. And happy birthday to her. I don't think, I think you go through a time where you tell everybody your age. I'm 4.5, and then I'm 16, I'm going to get to drive. And then I'm 18, I'm an adult. And I'm 21. And then you're like, don't ask a lady how old she is. That's rude. But then I think you reach a certain point where you're like, I am 90 freaking years old. And she's doing great. Her mind's great. I'm really proud of her. And I just want to say happy birthday to my mom because she actually knows how to listen to a podcast. So
I would like to wish your mom a happy birthday as well.
okay. All right. Have you got anything else?
I do not. I'm still going to have to process what God just threw me towards. So
I know. I'm so glad that happened. We try to have this show to kind of reach people, entertain, but also reach some people that might feel sad or lonely or need encouragement, or we hope that something that Tia will say in her devotion or Tia Time will speak to you and help you out on the issue. And we actually did it with Tia today. So.
Yeah, we actually did.
That's great.
I actually did it to myself, which is even sadder.
You just witnessed to yourself, Tia. All right, well, I guess we'll get out of here so we have time for an actual Tia Time, which will be, I'm sure, very meaningful. And you got the right one, though.
Well, I don't know. See, that is yet to be seen.
She may read the wrong one, which in this case might be the right one. All right. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. I love you, Tia. We love you guys. Please come back on Wednesday for another Yikes. And we're going to have Mother's Day ideas and things we're just enjoying in spring. That's it.
On Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay,
for our Yikes.
Great. And happy birthday, Mrs. Thompson.
All right.
And I love you, little Dena.
I love you too. Tia Time's next. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, for Tia Time, again, just because it touches me, is Sister, I Am With You, and this one is by Amy. Okay, here we go. Time is just the most precious thing. The older you get, I guess the more you realize this. Maybe it's not even an age thing. Maybe it's a maturity thing. But none of us really knows for sure exactly how much of it we're going to be given. And so when you truly grow, you learn to prioritize it well. You learn to value your time and take it for a gift that it is. Not tomorrow, not a year from now, not when you graduate or when you meet the one or when you have enough money, not when you finally have all your ducks in a row or when your dreams come true, but now. You learn to say no, and you learn to have boundaries. You learn that some people just aren't going to be your people, and you learn that things normally work out the way they're supposed to. You learn that there are bumps in the road and detours along the way, and sometimes nothing goes as planned. You learn that nobody really knows exactly what they're doing and that everyone has a story to tell if we would just care enough to listen. You learn to really choose your friends well. You learn to invest in people who make your heart shine and your soul feel at peace. You learn to let the wrong ones go on without throwing a fit, and you learn to forgive because bitterness is such a waste. You learn humility because no matter what you have or what you have to achieve, you're no better or no worse than anyone else. We're all just people doing the best we can. We all have a place in this big old world, and none of it really revolves around us. You learn to try and fail and then get up and try again. You learn that even sadness and grief are a part of being human, and part of what makes a rainbow is so beautiful is the fact that it doesn't happen until after a storm. You learn that returning hate for hate has never done good for anyone, and some people are just angry and insecure, and it has nothing to do with you. You pray for them and you move on, and you resolve to stay soft and pure and to keep putting your best out there anyway. You learn to call your mom a little more and throw on a little stupid bathing suit and jump in the pool with your kids when they ask, because who cares about cellulite? And the giggle in their eyes light up when you do that. You learn to pause and rest and watch the sun as it sinks and paints the sky in strokes of watercolored brilliance. It is a kind of sad and happy thing that happens all at once. You learn that time isn't promised and life feels a lot shorter than you thought it would when you were young, but you also learn to burn your favorite candles even when no company is coming over, and give gifts even for when there's no occasion. You learn to sip your coffee slowly and savor that very last drop. And that stuff is just stuff, but people are irreplaceable. You learn that dishes can normally wait, and the dance parties in the kitchen almost never can. You learn to live because that's what we all really can do. Live well and love like crazy, because time is a precious thing, and no matter how hard we try, we don't get anything back. So spend it well, friends, spend it well. Feel the things, enjoy your people, listen to good music, and give thanks for every moment. I just think this is goes without saying to everyone. Just if we could just live like this, all of us would be happier people, period. I hope everyone has a blessed week.